So this already we have discussed, that is the discontinuous type of chip, then continuous type of chip. So one thing again I would like to tell you that whatever the type of chips are there, so basically we know according to the material, so whether it is ductile material or whether it is brittle material. So according to that, type of chip which is going to be formed there is different. है ना? So we know ductile material if it is there, continuous type of chips can be formed. But brittle material if it is machine, discontinuous type of chip is formed. But one thing you have to keep in mind that according to the actual situation in the actual practices, so irrespective of the type of material which is going to be machine, so we can change the chip, the type of chip which is going to be formed there, so that can be changed. That can be changed there. And what are the what are the things which we can control there? So that already we have discussed. That is, we can say cutting speed can be controlled, chip thickness can be controlled, rake angle also can be controlled there, and we may use the cutting fluid with and without cutting fluid. So accordingly, the type of chip which is going to be formed, so that can change there. That can change there. So again, we have seen that continuous type of chip, if it is there, so it will rub against the rake surface, and when it is rubbing against the rake surface, so because of that heat is produced, chip will melt, it will stick there on the rake surface. Again chip is produced, again it will move, again it will rub, again heat is produced, again it will stick there. Like this, the chip is going to be collected there on the rake surface, and as the chip is getting collected there, the quantity of the chip which is collected, if it is exceeding beyond certain limits, so we may find that instability is going to be there, and because of that it will get removed there from the rake surface. But when whatever the chip which is collected there on the rake surface, so when it is getting removed, so only the chip will not be removed, but it will carry certain portion of the workpiece, and not a workpiece, that is certain portion of the cutting tool, and that is what is, we can say, wear can be formed there. Wear can be formed there. So here you can find as far as the rake surface is there, so you can find that is crater wear is going to be there, and a crater wear is going to be there. So crater wear, so you can find crater wear will not start from the tip, but to certain distance from the tip, like this. So this one is nothing but, you can say this one is nothing but the crater wear which can be there, which can be observed there on the rake surface of the cutting tool. So because of what this is, because whatever the chip which is flowing getting collected, and after that it is getting removed there on the rake surface. So when it is getting removed there on the rake surface, so it is removing the certain portion of the cutting tool, and because of that wear is formed there, and that wear is nothing but, we can say it is the crater wear which can be observed there on the cutting tool. So again you can find that at this particular zone where this tip is touching to the workpiece, so at that particular point heat is greater. So when the heat is greater, so definitely the tip will melt there, tip will burn there, and because of that what will happen there, the wear can be observed there. So we can say this is what is the wear which can be observed there, and this wear is nothing but, we can say it is the flank wear. And basically this flank wear will start from the tip. This flank wear will start from the tip of the workpiece, not a workpiece, tip of the cutting tool. Cutting tool, it will start there, and it will be there on the flank surfaces, and it will be there on the flank surfaces of the cutting tool. So if you see all this kind of wear, and if you see all this kind of wear, so here I can say this one is the cutting tool like this, and this one is the wear. This one is nothing but, just now I have told, that is the crater wear, and here I can say this one is nothing but the flank wear, and this one is nothing but the flank wear. So if you observe that, what are the effects of this both the wears, both the wears. So you can find this crater wear, this one is nothing but the crater wear which is not starting from the tip, but few distance after the tip, the crater wear can be observed there. The crater wear can be observed there. So so because of that, what will happen? Tool geometry will change, and because of the change in the tool geometry, change in the angle of the rake surface, so definitely there is the effect as far as the actual machining is going to be concerned there. Again, what will happen? Because of the crater wear strength, you can find that material which is supporting this rake surface is reduced. and because of that the strength of the cutting tool will reduce there. And so it will have the effects on tool geometry. It will have the effects on strength of the cutting tool which is going to be there, and because of that the whatever the cutting tool is there, so it will be weakened there, and it will be weakened there. So as far as this flank wear is concerned, so here we can find this one is nothing but the flank wear. So as far as this flank wear is concerned, so what will happen? Again, tool geometry will be affected. Again, strength is also going to be reduced. But in addition to that, so here you can observe, that before the crater wear, this was the uncut chip thickness, that is T. And after the crater wear, so you can observe that this one is the uncut chip thickness, and here you can observe this one is the uncut chip thickness. Or here if I would like to say, show here, so I can say this is what is the we can say shear plane along which the material is cut. And so before the crater wear, this is what is the uncut chip thickness, or you can say depth at which the material is cut. And this one is the uncut chip thickness or the depth of cut. So after crater wear, not a crater wear, that is after flank wear, what will happen? This is what is you can find, that is the uncut chip thickness, or we can say it is the depth of cut. Means if the crater wear, if it is there, so what will happen? Because of the crater wear, so it will affect the strength of the cutting tool. In addition to that, it will affect the geometry. But to be more specific, or to be one of the important parameter, that is nothing but we can say due to the flank wear, that is the depth of cut is going to be changed there. And when depth of cut is changed, so definitely what will happen? That at whatever the accuracy we are manufacturing the components, so that accuracy will be changed there, and definitely the error is going to be occurred there in the manufactured component. So dimensional change is going to be there. The error is there. The inaccurate components are going to be manufactured there. So basically we have discussed that is 3 types of chips are going to be formed. It may be continuous, then we can say discontinuous, or we can say continuous with the built up edges. But in certain books you may find segmental chips is there, or we may say that during machining of most engineering material, segmental chips are produced there, which are a combination of continuous chips and the discontinuous chip. And so here you can find this is what is the segmented chips which is formed there. And so this is what is the segmented chips which is formed there. So here these are the segments of the chip, or we can say chip which is cut there. So it is just like a short tooth profile chips are going to be cut there. So this type of chips which is formed there when we cut the material. So generally when we cut the most of the engineering material, so in such a cases you may find that this type of patterns of the chips which are going to be produced there, or in the actual machining when we cut the material. Just so generally you can find this is what is the chip which is going to be formed there in the actual practices. And this is the chips which is going to be formed there in the actual practices. So already I have told that there are the different factors which are responsible for the formation of different types of chips. So here you can observe this is what is the different types of chips. So it may be a continuous, it may be discontinuous, continuous, or the continuous with the built up edges. And these are the factors. So according to these factors, the type of chips which is going to be produced is going to be different. So according to the material, so we know as usual brittle material or non-ductile material, discontinuous chips are going to be formed. So if it is ductile material, continuous chips are going to be formed. And obviously whatever this continuous chip with the built up edges, so these are formed there when we machine the ductile material. So again, cutting speed. So if the cutting speed, if it is low, discontinuous type of chip it is going to be formed. So cutting speed if it is high, or for a higher cutting speed, continuous type of chips is going to be formed there. And when the cutting speed is low, again you can find that if you are machining the ductile material, then in that case the continuous chip with the built up edges at a low cutting speed is going to be formed there. So as far as the tool geometry is concerned, so in the tool geometry, what is the parameter there? That is the rake angle. And so as far as the rake angle is concerned, so smaller is the rake angle, discontinuous chip is going to be formed. So larger is the rake angle, continuous chips are going to be formed. So accordingly, whatever this continuous chip with the built up edges is there, so as far as the rake angle is concerned, so you can find there is a no effects as far as the rake angle is going to be concerned there. Then we can say cutting fluid. Cutting fluid if it is used there, so efficient cutting fluid if it is used there, then you can find continuous type of chips if it is going to be formed there. Cutting fluid if it is not used there, then you can find discontinuous type of chips is going to be formed there. So whatever the cutting fluid is there, whatever the function that particular cutting fluid is required to be performed, so that function which is performed there by the cutting fluid, if it is poor, then you can find that is the continuous chip with the built up edges can be formed there. So again, as far as the friction is concerned, so as the chip itself is discontinuous, so we can say the friction is not there as it is not rubbing against the rake surface of a cutting tool. So when the discontinuous type of chip it is there, so in case of this continuous type of chip, friction is going to be there, but we can say if the friction if it is lower, and maybe due to the properties of the workpiece material, maybe due to the properties of the cutting tool material. So if the friction if it is lower, then you can find the continuous type of chip it is going to be formed there. So if the friction if it is higher, so obviously you can understand friction if it is higher, due to that the heat which is produced will be higher, and if the higher heat if it is produced, melting of the chip is going to be there, and if the melting of the chip if it is there, so definitely what will happen? That chip will melt and it will get stick there on the rake surface of the cutting tool. And if it is melting there and getting stick there on the rake surface of the cutting tool, so definitely the chip is going to be collected, and then such a type of chip is nothing but called as a continuous chip with a built up edges. So friction is lower, continuous chip is going to be formed. Friction if it is higher, then we can say continuous chip with a built up edges is going to be formed there. So as far as the feed is concerned, so if the coarser feed if it is there, then we can say continuous chip with the built up edges is going to be formed there. So as far as the cutting edge is concerned, so whatever the cutting edge is there, so there can be a sharp cutting edge or there can be a dull cutting edge. So definitely you can say after a certain interval of time, the wear and tear is going to be there, and because of the wear and tear, whatever the tip is there, so that tip may get blunt, and because of that it may become dull, and because of that if the tip if it is dull, then you can find continuous chip with the built up edges is going to be formed there. So if the tip if it is sharp, then you can find the continuous chips are going to be formed there. The possibility of the forming of the type of chips will be a continuous type of chips which is going to be formed there. So accordingly, in the actual practices, whenever you want to cut the material and you want to alter the type of chip which is going to be formed there, so accordingly the parameter can be set, the parameter can be decided, and once the parameter is decided, so according to that parameter we can say that this type of chips is going to be formed there in the actual practices. So this parameter you needs to control so that the type of chips which is going to be formed there in the actual practice will change there. So here from the mechanics of metal cutting, that material is going to be cut there, and that can be represented like this, that this one is nothing but we can say it is the tool, that is the cutting tool. Then we can say this is nothing but we can say it is the workpiece. So here this one is the workpiece, then you can find this one is nothing but the tool, this one is nothing but the tool. So whatever this tool is there, so basically this tool is moving with a certain velocity v, and because of that we can say as it is touching to the workpiece, so as it is touching to the workpiece, so we can say it will compress the material, and when the material is compressed and it is exceeding beyond a yield strength, so material is going to be cut along a plane, and that plane is nothing but we can say it is the shear plane, and that plane is nothing but we can say it is the shear plane. So here you can observe, here this one is nothing but the shear plane along which the material is going to be going to be sheared there, going to be cut there, and whatever this particular plane is there, that is this one, shear plane. So this shear plane we will make a certain angle with the horizontal, and that angle is nothing but, we can say here, that angle is nothing but the phi, and this phi is nothing but, we can say it is the shear angle. And whatever the shear angle is there, so basically in the actual practices, the shear angle is required to be calculated there. So for that purpose, we supposed to establish a relation in between the known parameter and the unknown parameter, so that we can calculate the values of this shear angle. And that is nothing but called as a determination of the shear angle. So how we can determine the shear angle here? We can say here this phi is nothing but the shear angle. That is nothing but, we can say the phi. Then we can say alpha. Here you can observe that is, if you draw a vertical line from the mechanics of metal cutting, we know that if you draw a vertical line, then whatever that particular vertical line which is making certain angle with the rake surface of a cutting tool, so that angle is nothing but the shear angle. So not a shear angle, that angle is nothing but called as a rake angle. And here you can say this alpha is nothing but the rake angle here. Then you know that this here, this is nothing but the uncut chip thickness, that is the T, and whatever the chip which is cut there, so this one is nothing but, we can say it is the TC. So here it is represented here. This one is nothing but the TC, that is the cut chip thickness. And this one is nothing but, we can say it is the TC, that is the cut chip thickness. So what we can do, that whatever this shear plane is there, that is AB. So from the shear plane, whatever this shear plane is there, AB. So from A we can draw perpendicular line, and we can draw perpendicular line over here. So here this is what is the line, perpendicular line, which is drawn there. And that point we can say that perpendicular line which is drawn there. So that point we can say it is nothing but the M, and it is nothing but the M. So here I can say this point is nothing but the M, and this point is nothing but the M. Then what we can do? We can do that this one can be extended like this. This one can be extended like this. Then from this point, what we can do, that we can draw again the perpendicular line. So here it will make a angle 90 degree. Again you can find that here whatever this one, so the at M, so this is the angle, that is nothing but the 90 degree. So from this point A we have drawn the line. Perpendicular to on this. Then you can find that whatever this angle which is made over here, and that is in between this BAM. So that angle is nothing but, we can say it is the phi minus alpha. So this total angle is phi. Then if this total angle is phi, and if this angle which is made by this vertical line with the rake surface, if it is alpha, then obviously we can find that whatever this angle is there, so this angle is nothing but, we can say it is the phi minus alpha, and this angle is nothing but, we can say it is the phi minus alpha. So what we can do, we can note the relation, that is we can have the notation, that is R is nothing but equals to the cutting ratio, and and whatever this cutting ratio is there, so it is nothing but the ratios of the uncut chip thickness, ratios of this uncut chip thickness to the cut chip thickness. That ratio is nothing but called as a cutting ratio. And so ratios of the uncut chip thickness to the cut chip thickness, that is T by TC. So that ratio is nothing but called as a cutting ratio. And that ratio is nothing but called as a cutting ratio. So that ratio is also called as a chip compression factor. That ratio is also called as a chip thickness ratio. And it is also called as a chip thickness ratio. So here we can say R is nothing but the cutting ratio. It is also called as a chip thickness ratio, or it is also called as a chip compression factor. So if you take the ratio, that is 1 by R, then that 1 by R is nothing but called as a chip reduction factor, and a 1 by R. And here R is nothing but the cutting ratio, that is nothing but the chip thickness ratio, and that is nothing but we can say it is the T by Tc. So if you say 1 by R if it is there, then that is nothing but called as a psi. So that psi is nothing but we can say it is the chip reduction factor, and that chip reduction factor is nothing but we can say it is the 1 by R. So whatever this R is there, that is nothing but the T by Tc. So we can calculate the T, and we can calculate the T. So here you can observe that how we can calculate the T. So this one is the T over here. This one is the T over here. So this same T is nothing but the dotted line, red dotted line which I have drawn perpendicular from this point B. And whatever the perpendicular line which I have drawn like this from the point B, so that is nothing but the T. So how you can calculate this T? So we have to consider this triangle. And we have to consider this complete triangle. So when we consider this particular triangle, then this angle is nothing but phi. This angle is nothing but phi. So this is nothing but the opposite side divided by this hypotenuse. Means we can calculate T, that is nothing but the hypotenuse multiplied by the sine of angle A. And at this particular A, what is the angle there? That is nothing but the phi. Means we can calculate this T is nothing but equals to AB sine of phi. And AB sine of phi. So have you got this? Very simple. We have written that is R is nothing but equals to T by Tc. So T we can calculate. What is T? Here this one is nothing but the T, that is uncut chip thickness. So from this point B I have drawn the perpendicular line. So this distance is nothing but we can say it is the T, and this T can be calculated by considering this particular triangle. So very simple. So if you take the sine of angle A, then we can say this is nothing but equals to opposite side divided by this one is the hypotenuse. So accordingly we can calculate T is nothing but equals to AB, that is the hypotenuse, multiplied by sine of phi. So very simple. So in the same way we can calculate TC. The TC is nothing but the cut chip thickness. So how we can calculate TC? So here we can say this one is the TC here. That is the cut chip thickness. Here you can observe this one is the TC. So whatever this TC is there, so this TC is nothing but we can say it is nothing but the AM. And TC is nothing but we can say it is the AM. And if you consider this particular triangle, that is BMA, so from this particular triangle, so we can calculate TC, that is we can calculate this AM. So what is AM? So AM is nothing but the adjacent side, and because we can say from this point A we have drawn the perpendicular over here, and whatever the angle which is made at M, so that angle is nothing but equals to 90 degree. So here you can find AB is nothing but the hypotenuse. And whatever this AM is there, so this AM is nothing but the adjacent side. So from this particular triangle, that is AMB, so we can calculate TC. So this TC is nothing but, so if you take the cos of angle of at A, then we can say cos of angle that A at angle A, that is nothing but cos of phi minus alpha is nothing but equals to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So same we can write, that is TC is nothing but equals to AB cos of phi minus alpha. So here this AB, that is nothing but the length of shear plane. So that is same here. So we can cut this AB. Then we can say that is this R is nothing but equals to sine of phi divided by cos of phi minus alpha. So we can calculate the value of R, that is sine of phi divided by cos of phi minus alpha. So if you simplify this, that is R is nothing but equals to sine of phi divided by this cos of phi minus alpha. So from that, after simplification, so we can get the value of phi in terms of R and alpha, and we can get the value of phi, that is in terms of this R and alpha. So this phi is nothing but, or we can say tan of phi tan of phi is nothing but equals to r cos of alpha divided by 1 minus r sin of alpha. So what is r here? So we have noted the r, that r is nothing but the cutting ratio. It is also called as a chip thickness ratio. It is also called as a chip compression factor. So instead of chip compression factor, cutting ratio, or instead of chip thickness ratio, so if in the numerical, if it is mentioned chip reduction factor, means it is 1 by r. So what that is given? That is 1 by r is given. So when 1 by r is given, so that is nothing but the chip reduction factor. That is nothing but the chip reduction factor. So from that we can calculate the value of r. And we can calculate the value of r. From the geometry, alpha will be known. So we can calculate the value of phi. That is, phi is nothing but tan inverse of r cos of alpha divided by 1 minus r sin of alpha. R sin of alpha. Or you can see this. Here the same thing. That is, this AB is nothing but the, here you can observe the same thing. That is, AB is nothing but the shear plane as usual. So from that we can write this r is nothing but t by tc is nothing but equals to this we have discussed, that is AB sin of phi divided by AB cos of phi minus alpha. So that can be simplified. AB gets cancelled. Sin of phi divided by this cos of phi minus alpha. So this we can write, that we can multiply this, that is r cos of phi minus alpha. This r multiplied by this cos of phi minus alpha is equals to this sin of phi. Sin of phi. So we can simplify this, that is r equals to sin of phi divided by this cos of phi minus alpha. So we can write, that is r cos of phi minus alpha is nothing but equals to sin of phi. So again we can write, that is r in bracket we can say cos a minus b. Cos a minus b. So what is cos a minus b? Cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. So in the same way we can write, that is cos of phi multiplied by cos of alpha plus sin of pi multiplied by sin of alpha is nothing but equals to sin of phi. So we can say what we can do, we can divide this sin of phi, we can write, that is 1 is nothing but equals to r into bracket cos of phi multiplied by cos of alpha plus sin of phi multiplied by sin of alpha divided by sin of phi. So we can divide this sin of phi. So when we divide this sin of phi, so we can say cos of phi divided by sin of phi is nothing but equals to cot of phi multiplied by this cos of alpha as it is. Then we can say plus, we can divide this sin of phi divided by sin of phi, so it will get cancelled. So plus the only remaining term is nothing but equals to sin of alpha. So sin of alpha. So what we can write, that is cot of phi multiplied by cos of alpha. Cot of phi multiplied by cos of alpha is nothing but equals to, so we can divide this r here. So is nothing but equals to 1 by r, and whatever this plus sign was there, so we can take towards this side. So it will be nothing but equals to minus sin of alpha. So cot of phi multiplied by cos of alpha is nothing but equals to 1 by r minus sin of alpha. So again we can write, that is cot of phi is nothing but equals to, so whatever this cos of alpha is in multiplication, we can divide over here. So that is nothing but equals to 1 minus r sin of alpha divided by r cos of alpha. So cot of phi is nothing but equals to 1 by tan. So what we can write, tan of phi is nothing but equals to, so as it is 1 by cot of phi is nothing but equals to 1 by tan. So we can write, that is tan of phi is nothing but equals to r cos of alpha divided by 1 minus r sin of alpha. 1 minus r sin of alpha. So accordingly we can say phi is nothing but equals to tan inverse of r cos of alpha divided by 1 minus r sin of alpha. So in the numerical, while solving the numerical, we are supposed to calculate the value of the phi, that is the shear angle, and that can be calculated when we know the r, that is the chip thickness ratio, which is also called as the chip compression factor, which is also called as a cutting ratio, that is T by Tc. So when we know that and when we know from the geometry that is the rake angle alpha, so obviously we can calculate the value of phi, and obviously we can calculate the value of phi, so that can be calculated there. So in the previous slide this one, in this slide this one, so already I have told that how we can calculate the value of phi, and this I have asked you to simplify. So this I have asked to simplify, so this can be simplified there and we can calculate the value of phi. So phi can be calculated there. So how we can calculate the value of phi? So just now in this particular slide I have explained that. So this can be simplified and we can get the phi is nothing but equals to tan inverse of r cos of alpha divided by 1 minus r sin of alpha. So in the examination the numericals can be asked there on this particular things, and also derivations may be asked that to derive the relation that how to calculate the shear angle, or how to determine the shear angle, explain. So such a type of questions may be asked there in the university examination. So accordingly I think you have understood this, how to derive or how to determine the shear angle, So yes, anybody wants to ask something? Any doubt is there in the derivation? Yes, and you can put your doubt in the chat section also, in the chat also. So if you don't have any doubt, so we can move further. Okay. So again from the same thing, we can derive what we can derive. That further we can say that whatever the volume of metal removed, so that volume of metal removed is nothing but equals to volume of chip. So what we can write, that is volume of metal removed, so that is nothing but equals to, we can say, volume of chip. So whatever the volume of metal which is going to be removed, so that will be nothing but equals to volume of chip. So what is volume of metal which is going to be removed? So it is nothing but equals to width of the chip which is going to be there. It is nothing but equals to multiplied by thickness, that is the uncut chip thickness. It is nothing but equals to, we can say, length of the chip which is going to be cut there, multiplied by, we can say, it is nothing but the density. So that is nothing but, we can say, the volume of metal removed. So this volume of metal removed here, so here we can say this is nothing but the volume of metal removed. So this volume of metal removed is nothing but, we can say, volume of chip. So what is volume of chip? Volume of chip is nothing but we can say the width of the chip multiplied by, we can say, that is the length of chip. Then we can say it is multiplied by nothing but the density of that particular chip, rho c, that is nothing but the density of that particular chip. So that is nothing but the volume of chip which is going to be removed there. So width of the chip is going to be the same there. Then we can say density of the uncut chip as well as the cut chip is going to be same there. So we can say here we can write from this one we can write, and from this one you can write that is nothing but T by Tc. So from this one you can write that is T by Tc is nothing but equals to, and here we can say this one is the Tc, and T by Tc is nothing but equals to LC divided by L. So what is LC here? That is the length of the chip. What is L here? That is nothing but the length of uncut chip. So here it is difficult to measure the thickness of the chip, as the thickness of chip is lesser there. So instead of that, what we can measure? We can measure the length of the chip, and if you measure the length of the chip and length of the chip as well as the length of uncut chip, if it is known there, so we can get the ratio of T by Tc, and from the calculation of the shear angle, so we can say this length of the chip or T by TC. So what is it basically? It is nothing but equals to chip thickness ratio. So that chip thickness ratio is nothing but equals to T by TC, that is nothing but equals to R. That is nothing but equals to R. So again what we can write? What we can write, that is volume of metal removed is nothing but equals to volume of chip. So it is again we can write it. So it is nothing but equals to T multiplied by V multiplied by V. That is the cutting velocity, or that is nothing but we can say cutting velocity V. And what is V here? That is nothing but the cutting velocity. What is VC here? That is nothing but the chip velocity. So basically the chip will flow with a certain velocity, when it is cut there, and that velocity is nothing but we can say it is the chip velocity. At whatever the velocity this cutting tool is moving. So from the mechanics of metal cutting, we know that cutting tool is moving with a certain velocity, and that is nothing but we can say it is the V. That is nothing but the cutting velocity. So we can say volume of metal removed will be nothing but equals to the thickness. It will be nothing but equals to the thickness of the chip multiplied by the width of the chip multiplied by we can say cutting velocity is nothing but equals to the thickness of the chip multiplied by width of the chip multiplied by chip velocity. So from this one, if you simplify this, so we can say that is T multiplied by V is nothing but equals to TC multiplied by VC. So again we can write that is T divided by TC is nothing but equals to VC divided by V. So T by TC is nothing but equals to chip velocity divided by cutting velocity. So accordingly, if you know the chip velocity and if you know the cutting velocity, so we can calculate T by TC. And what is T by TC? So we know from the determination of this shear angle, this T by TC is nothing but equals to R. And that is nothing but we can say it is the cutting ratio. It is also called as a chip thickness ratio, or we can say it is also called as a chip compression factor. So this is all about, that is the determination of shear angle.